Okay, all right, recording is in progress. Yay, we did it. Okay, so today we're talking about the Be the One initiative, but it's also being the one leading with compassion and courage. Last week we talked about the education and scholarships. It was called Educate and Elevate. If you haven't seen that, please go back and do a recap of that, or view it rather. Sorry, I got tongue-tied there. Session 9 was on education and scholarships. Education is one of the most powerful legacies that we leave behind. In the session, we explored how the American Legion Auxiliary doesn't just support students financially, but lifts futures, honors, and gives service and opens doors that might otherwise remain closed. The session reminded us that scholarships are not simply checks. They are messages of belief. They say, we see you, we believe in your potential, and you matter. A few of the key themes from that session were: 1, scholarships are a direct extension of our mission. They connect our support for veterans, military families, and communities to tangible opportunities for growth, learning, and leadership. We discussed how recognition, encouragement, and mentorship and visibility often mean just as much as the financial reward itself. A student who feels seen stands far taller. Strong scholarship programs are clear, fair, and well communicated. From eligibility to deadlines to selection criteria, the transparency will then build trust and increase participation in your scholarships. Working with the schools, the counselors, families, and community partners ensures scholarships reach the students who need them most and strengthen the auxiliary's presence and credibility. Every scholarship awarded is an investment not only in one student, but in the future of our communities. Today's recipients are tomorrow's leaders, volunteers, and advocates. When we educate, we empower. When we elevate, we transform lives. And remember that scholarships are one of the most helpful things we do as leaders, because they remind us that service isn't just about meeting today's needs. It's about shaping tomorrow's possibilities. All right, let's move on to, as you know, from all 9 previous sessions, we do an opening exercise that just gets you thinking. It kind of puts you in a moment of silence, of a preparation to what's to come. So today's theme is the willingness. So you don't have to be ready, you just have to be willing. So before we talk about programs, trainings, or tools, I want to pause and remind us of something extremely important. No one here on this call or on the recording were asked to be an expert here today. No one's asked to have the right words, and I put right in quotation. No one was asked to fix anything. We are simply being asked to consider our willingness. So we're going to pause for a reflection. Think about a time in your life when someone noticed you before you asked for help. They didn't solve anything. They didn't have a perfect answer. They simply showed up. Now think about what that willingness meant to you. Now consider this question quietly just for yourself. Am I willing to notice when someone is struggling? Am I willing to ask a gentle question, even if it feels awkward? Am I willing to stay present instead of changing the subject? Am I willing to care even when I don't know what to do next? If you were willing I invite you to do something simple. I'd like for you to place one hand over your heart and one on the table or the surface, whatever it is beside you in front of you. This is not a promise. It is a commitment. It's not, it's a commitment to willingness, but it's also not saying that you have all the answers. It is simply a signal to yourself to say, I am willing. Willingness is where leadership begins. We place our hands over our heart and we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. We sing our nation's anthem. The heart of the matter, the heart is where we are. We lead with empathy. Your willingness, this is just a symbol to say, when I place my hand here, I am willing. Willingness is where leadership begins, not readiness, not perfection, and not credentials, just willingness with a heart for service. And be the one is not asking us to do everything. It is asking us to be willing to do something. So let's talk about what that something looks like. Our goals for today are to have that basic understanding of the Be the One mission, and talking about how local partnerships and awareness events can add to your strengthening of this mission in your units, and mental health awareness and education options for members. I need to make sure that everyone knows that this is not a session about diagnosing or fixing. It's about being present, informed, and willing. Leadership is not only about programs, policies, or procedures. Sometimes leadership looks a little something like noticing who is missing. Sometimes it sounds like listening without interrupting. Just listen to the whole thing. And sometimes it means being willing to stand in uncomfortable spaces with someone else. As I said, it's not about diagnosing or fixing. And it's not about fixing people, fixing a problem. That's not it. And it's not about having all the answers. This session is about being present, informed, and willing. Willing to notice, willing to listen, and willing to care. When we ask, what is Be the One? Most of you, I am certain are familiar with the Be the One mission. We hear it, we see it, it's there. The Be the One initiative comes from the American Legion. It was created with a simple but powerful truth at the core. One person can make a difference. The initiative does focus on suicide prevention, mental health awareness, and connection and support. But here's the most important part about the Be the One mission, Be the One initiative. You don't need a title to be the one. You don't need a license to be the one. You do not need a certification to be the one. You only need the willingness to notice, listen, and to check in. We're going to go on their website here in a minute too, but I just wanted for you to get, what is it? What does this Be the One? So why Be the One matters in our units? It's huge, huge, huge. I love this sign. You can't see it all. It says, smile, at least you're not dead. And being able, and he's cheesing and, just totally just excited. And again, be the reason somebody smiles. Be the reason somebody felt the kindness. Be the reason somebody felt seen. Our members serve our veterans, families, caregivers, and communities every single day. And many of the people that we are serving, they carry quietly things that we cannot see. Things like grief, things like trauma. How about loneliness and life stressors? And I can tell you that of all of us on this call, we are carrying something of the sort. We carry it quietly. And the truth is that we already do relationship-based work. We already are showing up for people during hard seasons. The Be the One does not add something foreign to our mission. It strengthens what we're already called to do. It's just an added piece. If people feel safe in our spaces, they stay. If they feel seen, they can begin to heal. That's why it matters in our units. On a mental health education, a leader's view, I thought it was really important that we have these 6 key points here. Let me be very clear, though. It's not about becoming a therapist, and it's, again, not about fixing people, and I'm going to continue saying that. This whole session is not about that. It's about our mindset and our willingness to add this to a part of to our toolkit and to be able to notice. It is about understanding the warning signs, reducing the stigma, knowing how to respond appropriately. And with that education, it can help leaders speak with confidence, avoid harmful assumptions, and know when and where to refer someone for help. We can have those resources at our fingertips. Education gives us a language, not labels. And that language matters. So what about having the conversation? Have you ever had to say to one of your members, you know, we miss you. How are you really doing? Or not even a member. Maybe it's somebody in your church, in your communities, in your works, you know, wherever. How are you really doing? I've noticed you seem quieter lately. You matter here. Are we making the people in our spaces feel welcome in our spaces? Are we allowing them to be seen, to be heard? And I know that there are across the department, there are many scenarios that I could give, but I'm not going to lay them out there, that where people are not being seen or felt welcome in their spaces. The spaces that we are creating, that we are carrying out our mission. We need these people. We need our volunteers. We need our members. We need our communities to have that safe space, to feel it. You don't need perfect words, and you don't need a script. Listening is leadership. We've talked about this in previous sessions. The ability to listen is leadership. It's a leadership quality. Silence can be dangerous for all of us. Be kind. Sometimes an awkward honesty can be a life-saving event. So the Be the One training, and if you were to search Be the One training on Google, you're going to come to this website. Can everybody see that? Yes. Are we good? Okay. All right. Yeah. So it tells you here, and this is the Columbia University training, the training protocol. And what you'll be able to do, they're bullet pointed here, use the Columbia Suicide Severity Rating Scale to determine at-risk individuals, identify risk factors and warning signs. And also there's a newsletter that comes along with it. You have all these opportunities. The very next one coming up is January the 7th, and you just click the button, register here, you put in your credentials, and then voila, you're registered. There are two other opportunities. There's a Thursday, January 15th, and a Thursday, January 22nd that are currently on there. You can, that it will refresh. They do this on an ongoing basis.
This is a one session training
One
session?
session, yes.
Okay.
Did this not go? Oh, there we go. Had to get it back. So it's designed, that training is designed for members, leaders, community advocates, and your units can encourage participation for everybody in the unit. And I will tell you that it will give you another view and another sensitivity as far as questioning, am I being kind? Am I asking? Am I observing? And it might help to change attitudes. I won't even go there, but I will say that it can help soften that the understanding of knowing and being in that training definitely gives you another view. And so encourage your units to participate. And you can share resources regularly of what's going on with the Be the One initiative. Training replaces fear with confidence. I thought that was a really bold statement. And confident leaders are better prepared to act with care. Training empowers leaders to act with confidence instead of fear because they have that tool. It's in their tool bag. And they confidently can go about and share it. I thought this is important, and some people can do this automatically. They're already in that innate feeling, and they just understand that. But struggles don't always look dramatic. I mean, we can tell when some people are very dramatic and they're really going through something, but not all of them are dramatic. Some of them are quiet. And sometimes they look like they're changes in their behavior. They're going from one extreme to another. They've done something one way for so many years, and then all of a sudden they're doing something different, and they're doing it in almost a negligent way. You want to look at that. What about withdrawal or isolation? They've begun to isolate themselves. They've withdrawn from activities. They've withdrawn from coming out. You want to look for that. And emotional shifts, like, what's, you got the highs and lows going on, what's happening. Maybe they're missing meetings or they're just completely disengaged. Our role is not to jump to conclusions. Our role is to lean in with care. Awareness opens a door and compassion will keep it open. But we have to be able to have that conversation, ask those questions. The key to that is awareness, not assumptions. And when somebody is going through something like that, we cannot just assume that we know why it's happening. We need to get an awareness, and the only way to be aware of it is to ask those questions, ask those kind, caring questions, and be inquisitive and truly caring and be connecting to that person. So again, back on creating safe and supportive environments, we have to normalize those check-ins. We don't want people to think that we're just checking in on them because we're placing a stigma that they've had some sort of an issue and now we're checking in with them. Just normalize check-ins. Jane does a really good job for Unit 23 to noticing people that are sick or they might have something going on, and she just sends them a card saying, I'm thinking about you. And it's a touch. It's a feeling that gives a reaction for the person receiving that wow, I'm cared about. So thank you, Jane, for doing that. And then you want to encourage connection, not perfection. We got to get rid of the word perfect, even though we say it was a perfect day. Okay, that was a perfect day, but you have to put the baskets together in a perfect way. No, we don't want that. We want a connection. Oh yeah, that looks great because the basket's going to get torn apart anyway and all the contents. It's okay. Let it be that way. You want that connection, having that time and the way to celebrate that person. You
You
want
know
to
what?
foster a you belong here environment.
It probably was not a perfect day. It was just what you needed, or it was perfect for you, you know. And even then, there might have been some little thing that was not perfect. Nothing is perfect, but it really is what you need.
What you needed at that moment.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So your leadership tone matters. How we speak, how we listen, and how we respond. It matters. It can turn somebody away if you are closed and somebody comes up and says, and you say immediately, "What do you want now?" That's a quick way to shut somebody down, and you're not going to get the answers and you're not going to know what's going on. This is a strong statement quote here, but I am going to say it because this is what I felt and this is what I meant when I wrote it. People will remember how your unit made them feel long after the meeting ends. True statement. All right, so local partnerships and awareness events. I think it's really important that strong leaders build bridges, not silos, and silos meaning going up, bridges meaning going across all like land, waters, brooks, deserts, wherever. But you want strong leaders build bridges, not silos. And if you can think of that, we don't want to go up, we want to go out. We want to cross and we want to connect. Strong leaders do not carry everything themselves. So we asked you to build partnerships with maybe mental health providers, the veteran support organizations, the crisis response resources like 9988, like the resources that the hotlines. And we can ask them, what can we do? What can we do to help you to make your job a lot easier, or what can we do to appreciate you and what you do and compliment it? And so there are a lot of events that happen, and they call them like health fairs, health resources. We could just be a presence at those events. That here we are supporting that, and we have the Be the One initiative that we can talk about, and we can tell people that it's there. There are a lot of resources on that Be the One page that you can go back to and click on, and you can make a one pager for your unit to talking point to be able to put it out there. I just feel like it's really super, 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 super important that we consider our own, our mental wellness is the what I want to call it, not, mental health issues, but our mental wellness as well as, our physical wellness. Um, you can have community conversations at those tables and being able just to share what we have. It's important, and that's how we can add value to those fairs or to those events. Strong leaders build bridges, not silos. Please don't forget that. We're going out, not up, not up, out. We are, doing great things, going up. We're moving up in the world, but not a silo. We want a bridge. Yes, I talk with my hands. Woo. So, implementing the Be the One in your unit. The very first thing to do would be to take the training and then being able to share the resources regularly, including the Be the One message in the meetings. We're sharing like our auxiliary emergency fund. Let's share the Be the One. Make sure that people are aware of the training, but also if you need to to talk to somebody that they know that we are able to have those conversations with you. And encourage training participation, identifying trusted referrals and contacts. So you be able, when you have identified that somebody needs a referral, that you have a trusted referral that you can refer them to get further help. And then, of course, leading by example. Small, consistent actions will build strong foundations for all of us. I love this picture. I think it's a great depiction of one person matters. And when one person matters, all matter, and we're all together. Leadership requires courage. I know it does. Compassion is not weakness, it's a strength. We should never feel less than for caring for and having compassion to want to help and to want to aid others. It's a strength. And your presence in someone's life may save their life. You may never know the impact of one conversation, of one invitation, and one moment of care. But that doesn't make it small.
Huh.
I invite you to reflect on these. I got a couple questions here. How can your unit lead with compassion? And what is one step you can take to be the one? You do not have to do everything. You just have to be willing to do something. Thank you for leading with your heart. So that was heavy. Next week, we are on deck for January 6th, 2026. I won't see you all until next year. That is celebrating the journey, the awards and recognition, and we're going to really talk about what you can do to make your narratives stand out and following the directions by which you would need to even be considered for those recognitions. So let's go back. I'm going to ask if there are any questions or comments that you would like to add about today's topic. Okay, hang tight. Let me